Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the grand finals of the Spring Invitational. This is Game 2, guys. If you haven't already seen Game 1, it went up yesterday. Please go and check that out because this cast does contain spoilers. So make sure you switch over now before I start talking about it. Otherwise, you're sure to be disappointed. On to Game 2. Tagada running ahead in this competition now with the first game under his belt. Is all to play for, though, with another 6 games still to be played. And the map, the interesting map, is Crazy Rush. I'm excited and I'm also ready, and so are the players. Let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Alright, Crazy Rush. For those of you that don't know, haven't seen this map before, it is a weird one. Conventional wisdom does not apply. Get the right split screen button. There we go. So you can see each player there with what looks like just one mass point to his name, but actually, as you will soon see, that is very much not the case. Both starting with the classic 2 P-Gen and Land Factory opening to start with, and then by the looks of things going straight for that first mechs afterwards. And what will happen once they have that first mechs? Well, it's very simple and straightforward. The map will generate flanking mexes all the way around it. So you pop one down, you get 4 new ones up, and so on and so on and so on. So you can just keep building and building and building. It is a recipe for quick escalation. It's also a recipe for emergency must-have build more powers, please, because essentially you're going to run out of power real quick when you have this abundant level of mass to your name. And Nexus wasting no time, going straight for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just going to go all day with his commander there. And the first order of business you can see straight away for both of these players with the engineers that roll off that land factory is produce all of the P-Gens. That's going to be the order of the day. So engineers off. What looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 P-Gens on top of the 2 he's already built. And then it's going to be land factories all day with the exception of 1 air factory. A similar picture, I would imagine, there from Tagada. We do have other starting locations kicking about, and they will operate in the same manner if they move on to it, but it's hardly as much of an important factor as expansion is in your average game of SOPCOM, as you can appreciate, because you literally have limitless quantities of mass right on your doorstep. So it's a very unique gameplay style as we get the first few shots rolling from a Selen that rolls in from Tagada. Goes straight the way down there to harass. Incidentally, Game 1, it was 2 Seraphims, both players picking those filthy aliens. Nexus switching it up for Game 2, going UEF here. And it's actually affected his rating in the meantime, because it was a 2400 Tagada versus a 2600 Nexus in Game 1. And that was the highest rated global ranking I think I've ever seen in SOPCOM. I have never seen a FAF player with a 2600 there before, but turns out it only happened once. Tagada knocking him off that top spot. Now it is a 2500 versus 2400, but not that it really means anything in the grand scheme of things. But it's always interesting to see nonetheless, as a Striker, Tham, a Snoop, and a Selen all exchange blows. Nexus with that hit point advantage there, going UEF. He does lose his scout, but he's put the I was about to say the majority of damage on the Tham, but thanks to another Selen that rolls off the conveyor belt, sacrifices himself, but allows Tagada to win out against the Striker. So an early T1 bomber with a company scout. The scout gets blasted out of the sky straight away from that railgun, but lands a bomb, that bomber, right next to the railgun and takes out what looks to be about 3 engineers in the immediate vicinity. So a lovely little bit of collateral damage there from some nice targeting from Tagada, who's looking to add another win to his game yesterday. Snoops rolling out with their whopping 2 DPS. Even on a badly damaged Tham, even landing 6 or so shots between them, they still don't manage to take it out. And now a bomber moving in the opposite direction. Does get the bomb off. It looked like he wasn't going to manage it there, but he manages to. Takes out only one engineer before getting shot down. Thought for a minute, because of the tack he was taking, he wasn't going to be able to get the bomb away, but if anyone can do it, it's Nexus, and he goes straight for another T1 bomber also, as does Tagada. You might notice that they're crossing the threshold between the two bases very quickly, because this is a 5K map, so this is real close quarters stuff. See the amount of mexes that they've produced already. Excuse me. Huge quantities of mass extractors from both players. Tagada up to 33 mexes already. Nexus on 31. Groups of spam tangling outside the front of Nexus's base. Tagada clumped up. Oh, a lovely little bombing run over the top of the base once again. Looks like he took about 5 or 6 engineers out with that blast. Tagada kill-loss ratio at 1.35 versus Nexus's 0.74. So again, another game going well for Tagada. Good early start, but it's all still pretty even. No infrastructure damaged. 13k mass apiece harvested so far by both players. Another T1 bomber inbound. Another group of engineers dead before the bomber is downed. Nexus needs to maybe think about broadening out his flak screen. He's got 3 railguns, I think, dotted about now. Maybe it's only 2. Another bomb away. Snags another engineer. Where are we at production-wise for both of these players? We're at 16 land factories for Nexus. And we're at 15 for Tagada. So Nexus with a very modest advantage there. And Tagada has reached the nearby group of mexes and is starting work on developing those with a solitary engineer. Another bombing run over the top, and that's another group of dead units. Tagada still getting work done there, but he's lost out a little bit on the exchanges in the middle. You can see kill-loss ratio drifting towards Nexus. It's still in Tagada's favor overall. It is just a question of build as many land factories as you can and try to overwhelm your opponent. Tagada really making these T1 bomber attacks a feature of his strategies for this game. Another engineer out over here for Tagada, working on yet more mexes. He is slightly up on generated eco by the looks of things. 123 to 141. Nexus still operating off his main base mex blob, if that's even a thing. Mex amalgam, if you will. Coming up to 9 minutes gone, and Tagada knocking at the front door of Nexus's base now with what looks like superior numbers. And he's also building up mass. That's quite telling. Nexus is expending all of his mass. Tagada starting to stockpile. He can't produce it quickly enough. Thams and a few Zuis rolling in now to the main base of Nexus. When we saw this happen yesterday, it represented the end of Nexus's game. Fusion reactor about to go pop. Just keeping it alive as best he can with an engineer over here, but it does go down. What's that doing to Nexus's power situation? He's just about positive, but he has got some pillars out front. That's helping to stem the tide of hostile units moving in towards his main base. Are we at T2 anywhere for Tagada? I'm not seeing any T2 units as of yet. So a tech advantage for the time being lying with Nexus. Tagada still utilizing those bombers. Wondering if he wants to focus in on those pillars just a little bit more, those T2 units, try and chop them down, get them out of the mix so his spam, his T1 numbers can overwhelm Nexus's. More bombers heading straight into the base though. And now we've got some mobile flak on the field. They are faring much less well, but they're coming in from different angles. We're going to see some of them get any bombs away at least. Nope, they're all going to get shot down before getting any bombs off. So Nexus responding well, utilizing that tech upgrade nicely, and now he's starting to move out. I was going to say to work on these other groups of mass extractors, but he only picked up one. But look at this counter pressure. We do have some Tech 2 on the field now from Tagada. That might be a reason for the drop off in the number of Burgundy units coming out from Tagada. Kill-loss ratio dramatically shifting in Nexus's favor to almost 1.2. And Tagada having to bring out his commander to make sure none of this UEF garbage gets into his base. Has got the odd T2 point defense up over here, but there's a little run by on the cards just about in range of this group of mexes to the east. And another group simultaneously hitting the group of mexes in the west. Tagada drifting towards that very group with his commander. But now we're starting to see larger numbers of Ilshivas out on the field. So inevitably a little bit of seesawing going on back and forth between these two players right now. Tagada's comm standing proud in front of the western edge of his base after seeing off that attack down the left-hand side of the map. Nexus, although superior in number, backing up in the face of those horrendous assault bots. T1 factories, 31 on the field there for Nexus. Do a Tagada count in just a second, but we've got a major Janus assault on Tagada's resourcing option. And that will really hurt. Oh my goodness. Mass blinking as we're looking at it from Tagada's perspective. So many mexes taken out. The battle still rages in the mid. But look at that dramatic fall off. Tagada now some 100 mass points or mass units in production behind. Tagada, Janus not OP at all, he says in local chat. Has he accrued enough Ilshivers in that time to hold Nexus at bay while he sorts this situation out? We're starting to see some more anti-air emplacements up in the main base. But look at the damage that's been inflicted. Engineers are there trying to repair it. But Tagada throws out the GG. He knows it's done. What a beautiful Janus strike there from Nexus to level the match and go 1-all. Nexus looking a little bit shaky at the start of that one, but he held his own. And, yeah, it snuck in after all of the air pressure that was being applied from Tagada. With those early T1 bombers, he weathered the storm and then came back with a T2 option of his own and smash! Absolutely blew it out of the water. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Don't forget the Patreon there if you are feeling like you've seen everything but you don't already subscribe. It's $1 a month, some 23 casts there or thereabouts that are ready for your viewing. God, I can't say anything today. Ready for your viewing pleasure. If you've seen everything, that is exclusive content that is ready and waiting for you. But until next time, guys, that'll be tomorrow. Game 3 on the way. Check it out. This is Guile. Stay well and stay safe.